Wow, there's the governor's theme song. Although she hasn't been watching us very much lately, has she?
She's been kind of quiet lately. I don't know.
You know what's funny is whenever you talk to anybody about it, I don't know about your people you converse with, but, you know, when you talk about COVID and how the state's reacting and what's going on, and somebody will say, you know, the governor's been awful quiet on this, and then somebody else will say, well, she's waiting until after she gets married, you know, she's waiting until after the wedding before she shuts it down. But I haven't heard that. Have you heard that from any official source or anything?
I haven't heard that for any officials.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Well, which
don't want to shut down the state when you're getting married. Of course, she might go to Texas to get married. I don't know.
That's true. Or Colorado. I would think she'd be more at home in Colorado than Texas.
True.
You know, free pot plant with every guest, you know. I don't know. Maybe her cartel buddies will throw her a nice wedding in Mexico. That's true. She could do that. They could have a solar-powered wedding.
Oh. And
so everything that happens is because the wind turbines are turning, and then it could be one of those days where there's no wind. And so you heard me talking about dead malls earlier, and that's what your video tribute is to the dead malls of America.
Yeah. I figured instead of trashing Biden again, which I've got one for tomorrow, I'll do dead malls and kind of just avoid that subject on the background today.
You know, those were the big thing when we were growing up in Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
There was a couple of big malls down in the Davenport area. They call it the Quad Cities is what it was called, and you had Davenport and Bettendorf, Rock Island, and Moline. Rock Island and Moline were on the Illinois side of the Mississippi, and Bettendorf and Davenport were on the Iowa side. And that metro area was called the Quad Cities.
Okay.
Because there were 4.
Wow. The more you know.
Yeah. The little star goes flying across the morning. And they built, there was a mall there, but they had some shopping centers and this was the big thing. The mall would get built, and then everybody said, well, what do we need to do with our downtowns? Our downtowns are dying. Nobody's going to the downtowns. And at one time in Clinton, Iowa, the town I grew up in, they were actually talking about closing off the street that was the downtown street, the main business area. They actually talked about closing it off, building a roof, putting parking up on the roof, and making it an enclosed mall.
Wow. Just
so they could be competing with the other enclosed malls that were being built, you know, at that time. You know, they never did.
I'm probably glad they didn't do that.
Yeah, well, nowadays, yeah, because malls are just really, really struggling. They were struggling anyway pre-COVID.
Oh, yeah.
And then the COVID shutdowns come along, and it's hard to find a healthy mall anywhere in the country.
Oh, yeah.
You know. How about where you grew up? Where was the big mall where you grew up?
Well, I grew up in mostly Canton, Oklahoma, and so about 40 minutes away was Enid, Oklahoma. We had a mall there, which was, you know, kind of small. Then my sister lived in Panama City, Florida. She was stationed there in the Air Force, and they had a fancy mall, so
yeah,
that was neat. And that was in the 80s, too, so, you know, that 80s was like prime mall time.
Yeah,
and we got to really enjoy the malls there.
I'm having trouble remembering the ones in Mobile. I do remember the mall in Mobile when we lived in Fairhope. Lana was doing calligraphy art.
Oh.
And occasionally would go to the mall or to an art show, and we'd have, matter of fact, these display boards that are in the studio right here are the boards that I built, so we could take them with us to the mall or whatever, and then she could hang her, you know, the pegboards.
Oh.
That's where those pegboards came from. Cool. I built those things for that purpose.
Wow.
And I remember we were in the mall in Mobile, and they had a bank of payphones.
Oh, yeah, payphones.
Payphones. Yes. And one of the payphones kept ringing. And I thought, who on earth is calling the payphone? And So, there wasn't a whole lot of people there. We were just kind of sitting around. Lana was waiting for people to come by, maybe buy some of her stuff. And the phone kept ringing. The phone kept ringing. The phone kept ringing. And so I said, all right, I'm going to answer the phone. So I went over to the payphone and I answered the phone. Hello? Murphy's going to beat Fairhope. There was this guy who was a big fan of Murphy High School. And every week of a game, he would just call people at random and say Murphy's going to beat whoever it was they were going to play that week. Well, he had called the radio station in Fairhope. I talked to the guy. The guy's name was Mike from Murphy. So the phone rings. I pick up the phone, and he goes, Murphy's going to beat Fairhope. I said, Mike. What? How did you get this number? How are you on this number?
Oh, that's great.
It just freaked him out because
the right person at the right time for that.
But he did. That's what he did, Aaron. He would just call people at random, and you'd answer the phone. Hello.
I'm in your house.
Oh, I wonder where Mike from Murphy is nowadays. I wonder if he's even still alive.
He's in an asylum after that phone call.
Oh, then we moved to Mississippi, and there was a big mall in Jackson, Metro Center Mall, and we would go there all the time. And then on the north side of Jackson, which was actually close to where we lived in Canton, they built a great big giant beautiful mall, but they built it across the county line because in the county that Jackson was in, they had blue laws. And the mall could not be open on Sunday because there was no retail allowed on Sunday.
Right.
And right across the state line in Ridgeland, the people there said, we're not enforcing that. And so the mall built in Ridgeland and said, we're going to be open on Sunday.
And everybody from that county went over there.
Yeah, I'm amazed that people just didn't stay in Jackson and go, I just can't believe they would do that. They all went to the mall. So needless to say, there was a lot of lobbying went on. The legislature then went into session and passed a bill that made it local option. And every county in Mississippi said, we are opting out.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that was those were the two big malls there in the Jackson, Mississippi area. Of course, we'd go down to New Orleans, and they had that big mall along the river, and which got smashed into by the barge. I don't know if you remember that. It got smashed into and did a whole bunch of damage.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, and Sal did a video on that place, and it's nothing like it was when Lon and I were there. But Sal, if you look for Sal, S-A-L, on the YouTube and find his channel, you can see all of his videos that he's done at all these dead malls across the country. Cool. And I'll have to see if he did the one in Enid, Oklahoma.
Yeah, it might still be open. I don't know.
Yeah. So.
It was the only place to go, that and Walmart, like really close by.
Yeah. But you notice now how it's changed and nobody goes into the malls? Everybody goes to the stores that are outside the mall?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, you go to the surrounding stores. And, of course, used to the theater would be in the mall, and so you had to go in the mall and to go to the theater, and that would get you in the food court and then do a little shopping while you're there.
Yeah.
You had it down.
Yeah, well, Redbox and Netflix killed that.
Yeah.
And now streaming video,
Yeah, for sure.
And then the malls also get messed up because of the traffic, and people just don't want to mess with the traffic, and now we can buy things on our phone.
Yeah, you want me to walk 1.5 miles to go look at all the stores? No way. I could go.
Yeah, that's why I've never understood. You see this in small towns, no different here than it is in any other small town. You've got people that have their little shops downtown, and the owner has to park right in front of their store. Where are the customers supposed to park? Well, they can park down there. What?
You think you're looking at this all wrong.
You should be the one parking in the back. Those should be for your customers.
Right?
But then people are fickle, like you say. They'll drive around downtown. Well, can't find any place to park. And then they'll go out to Walmart.
Walk across the parking lot.
I'm not parking next to them or the shopping carts. I'll get a dent in my car. I don't understand. What's wrong with parking down here and walking a half a block to your store versus parking out the end of the parking lot so you don't get hit by... I don't understand. I don't understand it. I don't understand. So...
Yeah.
People are funny.
Many things don't make sense in life.
That's right. Like who supposedly got elected president.
Right. Elections definitely don't make sense in life right now.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Well, you've got I'm sure something to brighten our day.
I do, and it's mall related. So there's a husband and a wife. They were Christmas shopping in a busy shopping mall just before Christmas. The wife suddenly noticed her husband was missing. She couldn't find him, didn't see him anywhere, and they had a lot to do, very busy, and so she's like, well, I'll just break out my cell phone and call him. So she called him on his cell phone and said, where are you? You know we've got a lot to do. He said, honey, do you remember that jeweler's we went into about 10 years ago? You fell in love with that diamond necklace? I couldn't afford it at the time, and I said one day I would get it for you. Tears started to well up in her eyes, and she got all choked up. She could barely get out the words, yes, I remember that place. Well, I'm in the gun store next to that.
That's good. That's a good one. I like it.
Thank you.
She knew where he was.
Yep. That's what she asked for. There was a blind man. He walked into a shopping mall. He had his guide dog by the leash. He picked him up and started swinging him around his head in a circle. The security guard runs up and says, sir, what are you doing? The blind man said, oh, I'm just looking around. Why?
I kind of knew that one was coming.
Yeah, that was it.
No,
I know where that would be.
You need any help? Nope, just looking.
I got one last one for you.
All right.
There's this old man. He approached an attractive young woman at a shopping mall. He said, excuse me, I can't find my wife. Could you talk to me for a couple of minutes? The woman, feeling a bit of compassion for the old fellow, said, of course, sir. Do you know where your wife might be? I have no idea, he said, but every time I talk to a pretty woman, she seems to appear out of nowhere.
Eyes in the back of the head. Eyes in the back of the head. Yep, they know. It's a sixth sense. They know, don't they? Yeah. What are you looking at? The wall over there. There's an email. Is that wall moving? No. There's another painting right next to it. So, yeah, I kind of miss the malls. You know, it's just not the same. You know.
Yeah, they had a certain excitement to them back when I was a kid. It was kind of fun. Now I loathe shopping.
Yeah, that's true. I remember the one in Rio Rancho, the mall there in Rio Rancho with the reversed landscape up in the ceiling.
Oh yeah.
In the food court area, you know.
I guess I hadn't noticed that one.
Yeah, that's a pretty mall. A lot of these malls are really nice looking. Some are. You watch Sal's videos, you know, some of them are dumps, but some looks like people really put some thought into trying to make them a nice place for people to come and shop.
Yeah.
So, and then he did the one the mall down in Houston that where people have been killed.
Oh,
you know, they found the body in the back of the subway.
Whoops.
It's like, I don't think I want that sandwich. So
yeah, I wouldn't want to be in there.
I'm going to go to the subway here. You know, I'm going to get Subway. I'm going to get one here in Artesia, not at Houston. So in the mall. All right. Well, let's see how the old markets are doing today.
All right. This is Aaron Irving with LPL Financial, member of FINRA and the SIPC, bringing you your mid-morning stock market report for Tuesday, August the 17th. U.S. stock indexes fell today as July retail sales declined, in another sign that the economy may be slowing down a bit in the face of a COVID resurgence. The Dow fell 0.8%, while the S&P 500 shed 0.5%, and the NASDAQ composite was down 0.6%. Retail sales declined 1.1% in July, which was a steeper drop than the 0.3% dip expected by economists surveyed by Dow Jones. The Census Bureau revised June's reading to a 0.7% jump. Home Depot fell about 5% after reporting second quarter results, weighing on the Dow. While quarterly earnings topped estimates, same-store sales rose by only 4.5% in the period, which was below the 5% consensus estimate of analysts polled by Street Account. U.S. same-store sales increased by just 3.4%. Walmart shares inched higher after second quarter earnings topped estimates. The retailer gained ground in groceries and reported a strong start to the back-to-school season. Elsewhere, healthcare shares saw some strength with United Health, Merck, and Johnson & Johnson trading in the green. Meanwhile, technology names trended lower. Facebook shares retreated around 1%, and Nvidia shares declined by 1.5%. The Dow and S&P 500 closed at record highs yesterday in their fifth straight positive session. The S&P 500's move during Monday's session marked a milestone as the benchmark index doubled from its pandemic closing low on March 23rd of 2020. This marks the fastest bull market doubling since World War II, according to calculations from CNBC. Currently, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 292 points to 35,332. The S&P 500 is 33 points lower at 4,446. And the NASDAQ composite is down 155 points to 14,638. West Texas Intermediate crude is up 9 cents a barrel to $67.38. Stocks of local interest. Holly Frontier Corporation is down 10 cents a share to $29.77. Walmart is $1.10 higher at $151.85 a share. EOG Resources is up 33 cents a share to $66.25, and ConocoPhillips is up 11 cents to $54.92 a share. This is Aaron Irving with Oakley and Irving Wealth Management, serving business owners and energy industry professionals in the Pecos Valley and beyond. You can find us at oiwealth.com or at our offices in Artesia and Carlsbad. You can call us at 575-887-7075. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. Securities are offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA, and the SIPC.
We were just talking, but not about you. So.
All right.
Should have been.
Should have been. That's right. All right. Aaron, you have a wonderful day today, and we'll chat with you again in the morning.
All righty.
All right. Thanks a lot.